Hello, and welcome to an introduction to one of our session speakers for the 2015 conference. She is going to be doing a workshop on project managers specifically for freelancers, and I think you're going to really like it. So introducing Monica Borrell to 2015 Freelance Conference.
Thanks, Emily.
And Monica is, like I said, she's going to be talking about project management. And there is a lot of people that do project management. But what I loved about Monica and why I selected her and asked her to come speak and do a workshop is because she put herself in a space that not many of us are willing to do. And she worked with someone that's extremely creative, and she is more, I think what I would say, kind of a little bit more linear in the way that she does project management. So she wanted to bring in the really creative side with the linear side and see if it was possible to create a project management application and process where those two personalities could work together. And she said it was fun, it was hard, it was fun, and it was hard. But you did it, and your first round out of the gate, I got to tell you, is pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks.
So tell us just a little bit about, from your own words, about your process and about Cardsmith.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I had this idea for Cardsmith after I was working for a big, very big company where we took a multi-million-dollar project management tool and we took these 400 project managers out of their Oracle tool and put a bunch of cards on the wall. So we had this 35-foot wall, and there were all these colored cards, and there was yarn that we got from the craft store and, cards from the stationery store. And it was really interesting. We replaced this big company corporate system that had all these bells and whistles with a system that essentially kindergartners would use, to track their progress in the classroom. And it worked amazingly well. And so I got really intrigued with visual systems. Then I was talking to everybody I could. I was putting Post-it notes all over my apartment wall. I had a huge wall in my apartment, which was a condo at the time, and was putting my exercise plan on Post-it notes and, planning out how to do project management better, and all these different use cases were Post-it noted all over my wall. And my friend Jo came over, who I'd worked with before, and she saw all of this stuff, and despite my craziness, she kind of got the vision with me, and she's my friend that you were referring to that is really the true creative, kind of nonlinear thinker, very intuitive, very intelligent, but a different way of thinking than I was. And we just started hammering it out and working on it and found that using the tool, even in its initial form, which was just Post-it notes on the wall, was how we ended up building the software. So we built a software that's modeled after Post-it notes or index cards using Post-it notes and index cards, if that makes sense.
It does.
It's getting very meta and crazy, but now that we have a software application that's in its early stages, we're using it every day ourselves and sharing those boards and things with our team and working remotely or collaboratively together. So it's a pretty interesting process, but yeah, it has not been an easy process to come up with a software application that's really designed to help creatives be more productive and to help productive people be more creative, and to balance both of those sides of every person, because we all have both sides. We have the doer and we have the dreamer. And so sometimes we go down too far down one path and sometimes too far down the other path. And so the idea with Cardsmith, and in the way that I've always led projects, is to try to bring those two brains together.
Well, like I said, I loved it, and I'm using it for the remodel of my house. So
Oh, nice.
It's fabulous.
Great.
So talk to us a little bit about, without giving away all the juice, how are you kind of planning or thinking about doing the workshop piece? Can you give us a little bit of insight of what we can look forward to?
Sure. I want to share a few tips with people, and I've got a few key points that took me years to learn, made a lot of mistakes, and came up with about 6 key points. I won't tell you what all of those are, but we will be learning those in a very experiential way. And so we're going to take, there'll probably be 3 or 4 different choices of projects that people can choose from.
Okay.
And they'll be fun projects. I don't know what they'll be exactly yet, but imagine maybe, oh, your team we'll break into teams, and then each team can choose one of these 3 sample projects. One might be, build a website for a taco cart that's coming into the neighborhood or something.
I love it.
Yeah. And then we'll just play with the step-by-step process that I've learned, and I will be experiencing and learning also from the group. So it's going to be very much, we're going to have big pieces of Post-its and little Post-its, and there'll be groups of 5 or 6 people, and we'll do a project plan in about, 40 minutes or so.
Oh, man, that's fantastic.
Great, thanks.
Cool. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, then you can get your ticket at freelanceconference.com for October 28th, 2015, and you can come in person and get to play with Monica. And, well, that came out wrong. You know what I mean. You can project manage with Monica.
Right.
Right here in Austin, Texas.
I hope it's playful and fun. I intend for us to have some fun. That's the main point, I think, in some of these things.
Yeah, the entire day I think is going to be a blast. Now that I get to know more and more and more about each of the speakers that are coming, I can't wait. So thank you so very much for being willing to hike all the way out to Austin, Texas, and teach us another way of doing project management.
Great. Thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to it.
Our pleasure. So I'll see you guys in October.
Bye.